Hello and welcome. I am the Rolling Block. Today I'm here to tell you about, first off, my channel I'm going to be hopefully starting soon. It will be predominantly about information regarding the firearms that I've acquired and had experience with my lifetime so far, reloading, and all the questions that I was trying to have answered when I was originally looking for them that I could not find anywhere. I don't know how much this information will pertain to others. Maybe it's just me looking for it, but I will do my best to answer them. And so today I want to start off by talking about my Remington No. 5 military. It is one of the guns that I most recently acquired. I am very much into the rolling block actions. And to really start off my channel, this is a gun that I had a very hard time finding information on for anything about it. There's a lot of stuff, but most of it's just repeating over and over again the same things. So today I'm going to try to get a little bit further detail about those things that I couldn't find. So first off, I'll give you some basic history of the firearm. Again, this is a rolling block action, which means that when you stuff around in the back, you roll the block up and the hammer tilts forward to not only detonate the primer and shoot your gun, but lock the breech block in place as it rolls into place. The rolling block action was originally designed in about 1870s, and it was today one of the fastest and strongest actions there was. It competed in America with the trapdoor Springfield, which inevitably the American military did use instead of this. However, this action has been used across more countries in the world than many of the other firearms, more so than the Sharps even. Remington produced these in huge numbers all over the place. They produced them in the 7mm Mauser for the Spanish contract, which is what these are. They were used all over Latin America, as well as in, 8mm Lebel around World War I. They were actually, the French contracted Remington to build these so that they could give them to their secondary troops and keep the more advanced Lebel rifles for their frontline troops, but as well as the Danish, the Dutch used these in their calibers. Russia had these built in 7.62x54R, English in the 303, British, and let's see what else was there. 30-40 Krag, actually. America did do some experimenting with the 30-40 Krag in this rifle. The main reason it didn't catch on in America as a military rifle is because we already had the trapdoor Springfield, and the government was more than satisfied with that firearm, and it was really cheap and cost effective for the United States at the time. Getting more into this particular rifle, the Spanish Mausers, these are the ones you'll find a lot more often in the United States. You can dignify them by, on the top of the barrel, just in front of the handguard, it'll actually be marked caliber 7mm. In addition to that, there should be some proof marks here on the tang that'll tell you a little bit more about it, the patent year, who made it, where it was produced. So mine is roughly 100 to 110 years old. It's the 1901 patent, and it does shoot the 7mm Spanish Mauser. The major difference in between the stereotypical 7mm Mauser that you've heard of and the 7mm Spanish Mauser is that this cartridge is slightly lower pressure, in addition to the fact that it's also about 100 thousandths, maybe 80 thousandths longer in head space. So you cannot in any circumstance use modern factory ammunition for this, because it will more than likely explode. Excessive head space is a huge issue in these old rifles, so you really need to look into this before you get one. If you do get one, they are 100%, you must hand load for these. There are people that say, oh, I've shot it with this and ammo, and I've shot it with that ammo, and it worked just fine, and I've never had an issue. But in all honesty, for what I have seen in research and everything I've done with this so far, hand load your ammo. It is the only way to guarantee that it will not blow up in your face and kill you or hurt somebody around you. So reloading for this, there's a whole bunch of people saying almost the exact same thing over and over and over again, and most of the time it does not answer your question. At least that's what I found. So to reload these, I'm actually taking old 30-06 cases and necking them down, or resizing them with a resizing die I got from Midway USA. With that, it actually gets perfect head spacing the first run. I don't have to do anything extra to that. A lot of people will, once they form the case, they will actually neck it back up to a 30 cal and then use a neck sizing die to bring it down to a 7mm again to achieve proper spacing in your barrel, by having the neck and the shoulder hold the back of the case in place. I haven't had to do that again because of the way my dies work. I guess I just got really lucky. In addition to that, you need to slug the bore. These things are 7mm. It also comes out to about a .284 diameter in inches. Most of the time when you get these, it'll be a slightly oversized, shot-out bore. Most of them I think are ranging from about .285 to .286. Mine, I got lucky. It looked pretty beat up on the outside, but the actual bore itself came out perfect. It was exactly a .284, like it had never been shot. The actual bore itself, shiny, smooth, perfect rifling all the way through, no pitting at all. So I did get very lucky in that. The powders that they use, and I've seen people talking about they'd get old 30-30 data and use that to reload, and that sounds horribly stupid to me. Why would you use data from another cartridge for this? That makes no sense to me. But anyway, there's a whole bunch of really good powders for these. I do recommend getting a Lyman book because most of the time it will have actual pressure ranges for these. These are rated to about 45,000 psi pressure, and that's not very high if you get looking at other cartridges. 30-06 alone is about a 63,000 psi on average. SAMI specs for the 7mm Mauser today are on average about 50 to 55,000 psi. So you really got to know what your rifle is capable of, and that is 45,000 psi bar none. So when I reload for these, I start out with about a 60% load. I'll take the maximum charge, and I will do the math to get exactly 60%, and I'll start there. With that, I got my first batch of test ammo for this just to tie it to a tree, make sure it didn't blow up. I started at 27 grains of H4350 with a 162 grain bullet. Again, don't take that data 100% for yourself. If you don't know anything about reloading, find someone that does. And I'm not responsible for anything that happens to you if you do this wrong and you get hurt. This is just my own experiences. But again, H4350, it's a very slow burning powder, it's very low pressure, and it's very good at replicating the original charge. They've also used, I think I've seen 4895, and there was another powder that was also very low burn rate that people have used. So just make sure you know exactly what kind of charge you want to get, the pressures that you can work with. More information about it, the necks on these tend to be pretty enlarged. My bore itself is really nice, but where the neck is, it's actually going to be slightly enlarged from what it should be. When I fired these, my case necks themselves were completely bulged out. They were huge. That is because when they built these rifles, they wanted to help aid extraction because it's a really short little handle here. So they cut those a little bit wider to help the bullet come out easier. In addition to that, they're also really long. So when I put my bullet in there, I'm seating it out about a 1/4 inch past the cantilever, just to make sure it's going to be more accurate. The closer your bullet is to your lance, the better you're going to have. That's most of the information for the basic overview of this thing. I'm doing a video series on this one. I'll include the strip down of the action, how to get it all taken apart, the work I'm doing, and my whole project there, and then the accuracy. So I'll do more about the reloads themselves later. But for now, that's just a basic overview. Goodbye.